What do you guys know about the history of hip-hop, like the first diss track?
Not too much.
Wasn't it NWA did the first diss track, No Vaseline? It wasn't diss track. Ice Cube did it to NWA.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you guys think we got our first podcast diss track?
Felt like it.
It felt like it.
I don't know. But in the spirit of competition, it is what it is.
It definitely felt like No Vaseline.
Oh, wow.
You left the door wide open. Not really, Ryan. Ryan looks over at the door. Not really. We put out 10 episodes last week. Working title FC. We're so lazy in our podcast football efforts. We didn't even come up with a name. But you guys liked it. You seem to have listened to it. You gave us some good feedback. So we thought, you know what? Let's do another one. Senzo?
Another one. In the words of DJ Khaled.
We didn't get many suggestions coming through. I think the people must have liked it. If no suggestions came in, clearly it's a popular name.
There were a couple. So what Ryan's saying there is we said, like, we got Working Title FC. Yes, another football podcast. Another bunch of guys talking about football. Mm-hmm. I've never heard that type of podcast before. We're going to do it a little bit different. We said, give us a name. Like, suggest names. We did get called, someone said, you guys should call yourself the Fraud Alerts podcast, Fraud Watch.
Wow.
Because you guys are frauds.
Wow.
How did you guys take that one?
You know, that segment took off a lot quicker than any other segment we had on the show last. When was it? Last week? I feel like last week. But yeah, that took off. Senzo started something, and now I think we have to carry it on.
Senzo, explain Fraud Watch. Is it Fraud Watch or Fraud Alert?
That's Fraud Watch.
Fraud Watch.
No, because Fraud Watch
Fraud
doesn't
alert.
mean you're a fraud.
Okay.
Fraud Alert
Fraud watch. Fraud watch.
It means you're watching to see if you're a fraud.
Right.
It's
So
looking a bit sus.
So it's quite a full list, actually.
Listen, we could have seen Community Shield this weekend. So we went in. Darwin Núñez, Haaland, both on Fraud Watch. Did anyone remove anyone? They still both there.
They're still both there, but Haaland didn't put himself any
missed
faith.
a sitter.
Because he didn't score 50 goals.
Yeah, he didn't score. If
And
he
he
didn't score
also
a
missed a
hat-trick.
sitter.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love how Haaland's rubbish. Darwin Núñez is the new it boy. How do you make sense of that, gentlemen? Listen, we're back here today. Working Title FC. It is a podcast. Listen, if you gave the first 10 episodes, you put out 10 episodes at once. Don't stop, won't stop. Team Don't Stop, Won't Stop. Put out 10 episodes at once. Reviewed every team in the Premier League. We're not those guys who just does top six, right?
Yeah.
No. We fucking win Nottingham Forest, Fulham, Wolves, everyone. We did them all.
We did.
I got accused of major Portuguese bias.
Because of Wolves.
Because of Fulham as well.
Great feedback,
yes.
though. Great feedback.
Great feedback.
everyone.
Keep it coming. It is Working Title FC at The Real PTP and at Ryan's Ridiculous
At Hawksley.
with the I.
Hawksley with an I. And I don't know, Senzo, have you got Twitter yet?
I think you got one.
Did you restore yourself? There we go. And I'm happy to announce we are on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
We are Working Title FC, not FC69.
Wow.
We are Working Title FC. The email is Working Title FC69. But that was only because Working Title FC was taken, and I believe it was because you took it.
Yeah, like you got to understand the
Lack of
admin nightmare.
communication.
The admin nightmare behind the scenes here. We know how to make podcasts. That's what we do. So today we're going to get into a couple of things. The main focus of today's show is, that's the only reason we actually give a shit about the Premier League. Fantasy Premier League. We're going to go through our teams, right? Are we experts? Hell no. Average position of the squad, 90th.
Wow.
In a 89-team league.
That's brilliant.
So we're going to go through our fantasy teams. But before we get in there, very interesting things happening in the world of football, particularly women's football. Right, we're going to talk about WAFCON. We're also going to touch on the Women Euro Championship. Senzo, you want to take it away? This is what you want to talk about. Have a little say about WAFCON.
So, first and foremost, shout out to Banyana. Finally becoming the bride and not the bridesmaid.
Been a few times.
Yeah, so what was it? 5 times runners up. But on the 6th time they got it right. But also shout out to Desiree, man. She's doing something major there.
Yeah.
With very limited resources.
Oh man, the whole structure of women's football, it's kind of like Rage Against the Machine type stuff, right?
It's broken. It's broken badly. So my thing is that now, what do you think should happen? And I pose this question to both of you. What do you think is the way forward for women's football in South Africa? Because they barely have a professional league, and if you really want to be taken seriously as a female footballer in this country, you got to go overseas.
So I speak from a position of the father of a female footballer. My daughter's 11 years old. I never pushed her into soccer. You'd think I'd say, make her play soccer. No, she'd played all the air quotes girl sports, right? She did netball, hockey, tennis. Not into it. She wants to play soccer. Very proud of her. She gets voted as captain of her team. She's a leader. She's doing the right things, and she's enjoying her football. And I kind of look at it and I go, you know what? SAFA and the rest of this country, and we already had the call out last week of SAFA saying, corporate South Africa, let's invest in women's football. Why? Because you want to get your hands on that sweet money. You know, you haven't stolen enough of the 2010 legacy money. You know what I mean?
How much were they promised?
Oh, man. So
5.2.
Something like that.
And SAFA only coughed up 5.3.
Man, you know, so you kind of go, okay, SAFA, you done fuck men's football up. Let's be honest. You've ruined it beyond belief. You've broken all the structures. I mean, we're not even talking. We look at Bafana. Bafana is kind of the symptom of the disease. So the disease goes. You speak to anyone involved in grassroots football. It is a mess.
It goes deep.
It's a mess. You know, especially when we look at like schoolboy rugby, for example, and you go, what?
How the structures there are
exactly,
and how they make the channels.
That's it.
Because sorry to cut you short, but speaking on that point, Paulo, how does someone like only stop playing for Bafana when they're 27 years old?
How?
Yeah, it's true.
How can people play? Dude, yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Men's football is broken, right? So there's going to be a tension because women's football worldwide is strong. There's a bit of investment there. Women's football in general, and maybe let's just lead into the Women's Euro as well, right? Great tournament. And a lot of people have been asking me, what did you think of it, all the rest of it? And I go, I think it's great. I love it. And like I say, I'm the father of a female footballer. So I love the sport. You're unfair if you compare it to men's football because there's a very different dynamic to it, right?
True.
I think if women's football, this is worldwide, must not be like men's football. When the money comes in, don't go make the problems men football have. We sit in a world, right?
Sure.
Where clubs, Inter Milan, Barcelona, Real Madrid, okay, Real Madrid to a lesser degree, but Juventus, these clubs are going to the wall to compete because they're bad with money. So why would women's football want to do the same, right?
Absolutely.
So I think approach the whole thing differently. I also think the thing, like you say, you got to go overseas. Because here, when you look at women's football, all the women's football here is the female team of a men's team, right?
Yes.
So it's kind of like pocket money from daddy type of thing.
Yes, it's a it feels hand-me-downish.
Yeah.
It feels hand-me-downish.
So it goes, let's have, I think Janine van Wyk, I think she's got her own football club, VWFC, right? And I think 3 of the members of Banyana came from there. This is a woman-only football team from girls up. I stand corrected, but that's how it is. So that's kind of going, hey, listen, if you want to invest in football here, let's go with let's have women-only football teams, you know, and not just here, worldwide.
Sure.
You know, that's kind of the way to go. If you're a young female footballer, the opportunities there are massive. Get into the States. The States have all
Absolutely.
it. Get a college scholarship.
Absolutely.
Go over there. At least get education. 3-4 years. You study in the US. Who knows what happens after that? You know, so the opportunities are way better than men's football because now all of a sudden there's going to be a spotlight going, hold on a second. If they're African champions, they're going to be at the World Cup. What else is happening there? Let's send our scouts. Let's go find these kids. Let's go find these young girls.
Yes.
So you're kind of going now, hey, let's get girls into football. Let's take it seriously. I'm going to take a knock at my daughter's school. They don't take football seriously. The kids train themselves. Okay.
Really?
Oh, man. And my daughter goes to a private school. We played government schools that took it more seriously, were more organized, had 3-4 coaches. And it goes, and I kind of said, I said to my daughter, so did they say anything about Banyana? She goes, oh, yeah, they did. I said, how dare they actually? How dare they? Because it's not about supporting Banyana. It's about supporting the girls who want to play soccer, about giving them a coach. It's about when girls want to play soccer, don't go, oh no, play netball.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's great to get the Banyana, and that's a fluke, right? That is force of will. That's no joined up thinking. But let's not make it like a AFCON 96, that it was a once off.
Yes.
Let's take the moment. The world's going to look at us. We're going to have scouts in here all the time now. Let's maximize it. Let's do it properly. If you're a school, do your shit properly. If you're a club, go, hey, this season's what's kind of finishing. What are we doing for a girls team next year? Let's get girls in the door. Let's get them playing. Or else we've wasted the whole thing.
But you see, you just actually touched on a point there, which I would like to bring up, is we also, the main contributing factor as to why women's football isn't as big as men's is because they said women don't invest in football. And it's because it's, as exactly as you said, it's a girls' sport. So we need to like break the girls' sport thing and actually bring girls into the equation of actually supporting and build up a similar fan base as the men fan base, because that's the reason why football is so big, is because men invest in the football, and that's the excuse that's always brought up. So that just needs to be broken,
And I think that breaks with us, right? It's about men changing our opinions, because when you watch women's football, it's like gimmicky. Look at them. Look at the poor dears. When you see a girl playing football, you go, oh, she's not that feminine. She's got to be, because we all say it, right? Everyone thinks it. You instinctively think, oh, she's a little bit butch or a little bit that, those ugly words, right? And I'm kind of like saying, stop thinking that way. If you have a son, tell your son to stop thinking that way. Because my daughter, I hear it all the time. She'll go and she plays with boys. She plays mixed.
Sure.
And the boys will always go, oh, girl, yeah, until she gets stuck into them, until she skins one of them, until she smashes the ball past one of them. Then they shut up, right?
Sure.
But luckily she's got the skill. What if somebody doesn't have the skill and hears that chirp and hears or whatever? She's not the kid. If somebody says, oh, it's a girl playing, she'll go, I'll show you what a girl does. And elbow in the nose. That's what happens. But the next girl that does it a little bit more timid, she walks away from the sport. So it's about us going, stop having those attitudes. Give the girls equal time. Treat it like you would treat anybody else. Because South African women are a lot closer to winning the World Cup than South African men will ever be.
Well, they're winning continental tournaments.
They got players she left, players at Atletico Madrid,
yes,
players at AC Milan, players in the women's MLS,
yes,
players, there's going to be players in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
When last Quinton Fortune played for Atletico Madrid? What are we talking about here?
Exactly.
20 years ago.
Yeah, like 2001 or so.
So the attitude change, and I hope this isn't, but you know what? It just seems like cheap politicking. Every fucking minister had a say. Danny Jordan up there again. One hand waving, another one hand taking out the pockets. Portia Modise scores 100 goals. She says she lived in a shack until very recently.
Yeah, it was sad.
Fucking disgusting.
It's sad.
And then they stand there. Now it's the time. Fuck you.
Desiree Ellis man. What happens there?
I mean, come on, man.
I'll tell you what, back in my footy days when I used to play five-a-side, we took on it, and I'll never forget it, because there was one night, and I didn't know until afterwards, there was a girl on one of these teams.
Yeah.
And I promise she made every single one of us on our team look like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And she was actually a Banyana player.
Oh, man.
I was told afterwards. She schooled every single one, and she looked like it was just a casual Friday night. You know what I mean? So that's hilarious.
But circling back to what you said, Paulo, did you see what Alex Scott said?
Yeah.
She's right though.
England woman. She's not England woman captain. She's. You talking about Jill Scott or Alex Scott, the previous player?
The previous player.
Yeah, previous player. Alex Scott.
She called out Premier League clubs because a lot of the clubs didn't want the women playing games at their grounds.
But at the main grounds.
At the main grounds.
At the main grounds.
That's pathetic.
So like it's a running theme. The women games, I think only against City or Liverpool will they play at Old Trafford. But yeah, they kind of have to go to secondary grounds, smaller grounds. But I'm telling you now, the 4 most attended matches in Europe this year: the female El Clasico, okay,
yes.
90,000 odd people.
Yes.
The women's Euro final,
87,000.
More than what at the men's.
Yeah.
More than what at the men's Euro final.
Yes.
Absolutely. And not one firecracker up one arse. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's a big moment in women's football. I hope it goes on. I hope the momentum carries on. Like I say, for my daughter's sake, I hope it's like we battle to find a club for her to play in because they don't take it seriously. And and I'm just hoping, hey, maybe I do it. Hey, maybe Working Title FC, the women's football club, maybe it's being born right here. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Eh? Who knows?
So that is us and our thoughts on women's football. And listen, men's football can't, fucked it up. It's shat the bed, can't get any worse.
Badly, eh?
Let's see what's up next. So, Fancy Premier League, guys. How long have you guys been playing Fancy Premier League?
This will be my fourth or, if not sixth year. 2015, 2016, I signed up.
Really?
Yeah. It was 2 years or 2 years in college. Yeah. So I'd say it's about 2016.
Ryan, I forget how young you are. It's unreal. So, Senzo, yourself?
I used to play in grade 8.
Okay,
and then I took a break for a while.
You are.
Okay, so
it's been around for long, though.
No, it has been around for long.
I've been doing it for a while. I hate it. It's the worst. Have you guys ever gotten addicted to it? Like that it ruins your mood? Because I went through a period I had to give up for a season. It was getting so bad. I was obsessing. I was getting angry.
There was one match in particular I'll never forget because I was so pissed. I was going to make Alexis Sanchez my triple captain. And he was playing for Arsenal at the time. And he was on a roll at one point. I think it was 2016. I don't know. It was one of those years. And he scored 4 goals in that game. And I was so pissed because I didn't do it.
Oh, he was playing against West Ham. I remember that game.
I didn't do it. And I lost out on like 60 points sitting. He was my captain, but I was about to triple captain him. And I didn't do it. And I was so irritated with myself because I lost out.
I had De Bruyne last season when he scored a hat trick. Was it last season? I had him triple captain.
Oh, and you scored that. Yes.
How many points did you get from that?
Oh, man, it was over 60. Oh. It was over 60. It was over. I want to say 90.
How did you feel after that?
Jeez, it was phenomenal. That was some good stuff.
But some guys that they're standard in your team. You have to.
But now, what's your take on Fancy? Do you guys believe there's a skill, there's a strategy, or it's just pure blind luck?
I think it's luck.
It's got to be luck.
I think it is luck.
Sorry to cut you short.
No.
If there's a skill, then people would be betting on games like this and walking away with astronomical sums of money.
But that's people true. Do, Ryan. Do you think it's luck or?
So, I do think it's luck, but at the same time, I do believe you have to maintain it because that's my problem. I start out strong and I'll sit, as you say, I'll be obsessed. Every week I'm making my changes, and then I'll slowly just fade out. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I stop doing my trades, that's when it goes, it's all hell. And that's where I think, so there is luck, but then there's also strategy in terms of making sure you bring in who's ever hot and trying to grow your money in the actual fantasy game.
So do you think you moneyball it?
I think by and large, but listen, De Bruyne triple captain on a hat-trick weekend, that is luck.
That is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable luck. Sure. Some guys hit those, right? But it's got to be moneyballing because it's based on statistics. It's based on minutes played.
Exactly.
And to your point of consistency, it's like what I've learned over the years is stop being hasty. Like you keep your team for 5 games, 6 games.
Yes.
If you trade a guy 5-6 games, keep him going. Like you got to give, because that's where it starts averaging out, right?
Sure. Also, you must understand that, if your guy started off hot, like, there's going to be a time where he cools off. Like, he really does cool off because...
But class is permanent, bro.
Yeah. But, I don't know. I've tried the money ball approach, but it takes the fun out of it. It really does take the fun out of it. Now it becomes a full-time job now.
It does.
I know, that's where it becomes a problem. Have you guys ever doped? Have you ever financially doped and used like any of those artificial intelligence team pickers?
No,
I haven't.
I've done it.
I have, and how did it come out?
I've done it. So they get you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they'll offer you free for a month, and you try, and it's good. Like, Jesus, they give you, because it's used artificial intelligence, figures out your team, next 5 fixtures. Okay, that's pretty. Recommend you do this. It's not De Bruyne hat-trick territory, right? But it kind of gives you consistent guys like defenders, clean sheets, right? Bonus points, guys regularly get bonus points. And we kind of all figure out how to hack the bonus points. Usually the England players get an England player in, he's going to get a bonus point,
Yeah, somehow,
Like Steven Gerrard, Lampard and Terry back in the day. Always got bonus points. Always. No matter what. They got
Lampard.
Always. He always got bonus points, right? So those fancy, so the first month is cool.
Yeah.
Then they kind of want you to pay. And kind of once you start paying, your tips get shit. But then you got to pay more to unlock the super optimizers. You got
the top tier.
And now you're in. Now they sucked you in. And you feel dirty.
I feel cheated.
You guys ever place bets on it?
So
have you ever placed bets on it?
What I want to ask, like placing bets or guys, you get guys who play in hectic leagues that everyone puts like 1,000 rand in and the winner takes the whole pot. Like I know guys who do that. And you walk away like, they split it amongst the top 3. When guys are walking around with like 10 grand out of that, I don't place bets. I don't bet.
I've been in 3. So I've actually invited Senzo into one of our leagues. I don't know if I've given you the code yet. I need to give you the code.
You must swing it, yeah?
But so I've been in 3 different leagues. And so the first one we just made with like friends of ours. Then a friend of mine called me from Cape Town. He said, I got a bunch of guys here, but it's 100 rand in.
Okay.
And then basically you go on a WhatsApp group, and at the end of the season, so everyone has to transfer it to the owner of the league or whatever, and then it gets distributed at the end. But my problem is, again, the consistency. I don't follow through. But again, those guys work, eh? I'd have to keep it up.
So, Senzo, you in betting, do you ever put money in?
Sometimes, but it's nothing.
But it's for the fun. It's for the fun.
It's nothing ridiculous. It's not. We're not.
It's not 1,000.
We're not talking bankers' fees here.
Yeah, these guys are putting 1,000 at a time.
That's crazy.
Those are big boys. So the consistency though. So Ryan, are you like you hit December and you're just like, fuck it, I'm out?
Yeah, because sometimes work fills up and then I don't get to watch games. And I even have a friend who doesn't watch games, but he gets the best points. Yeah. And it's such a fluke.
Because he's doing the Moneyball approach.
That's it.
He's just looking at numbers. He's just looking at the stats. Or he's looking at shirt colors. My daughter, sometimes she'll help me with the team. She picks on a shirt color. And guess what? De Bruyne hat-trick, triple captain.
That makes sense, though.
So, okay, should we do it? Let's get into our teams, right?
I think we have to announce the names of our teams.
I think the first thing. So, so let's do it this way, right? We're going to announce teams, then we're going to go down through goalkeepers, your strategy on goalkeepers, and we'll go through position by position as we name our points and what you're thinking, and kind of like watch list, anyone that you're thinking of, anyone last minute. There's no new rules to Fantasy League this year. I didn't see anything outstandingly different that they've added in. I think it's
seems pretty standard,
normal stuff, right? There's no extra chips. They kind of give. Are they still giving the kind of wild card or free transfer chip after the transfer window?
I don't know,
because I know they give one
two
each
wild cards. There's one mid-season and then one end of in the beginning you get a wild card, and then mid-season you get another one.
We got to check. I think it comes with the transfer window. Yes. I think they activate with the transfer window. You have to use the one before the other. But anyway, I haven't noticed any crazy rules. Okay, let's go. Team names. Ryan's very excited. Ryan, give me your Fantasy League team name.
I got my fantasy team done like a while back, and so that's why I named mine Turkish Delicht. But now it's now he's no longer coming to Chelsea.
Maybe play Bundesliga Fantasy League.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Listen, on that, what's the hell's going on at Chelsea? So is Barcelona's basically scouting academy? Let's read Fabrizio's tweets.
My word.
Keyword search Chelsea transfer. Get that guy.
You know, we had this conversation about a week ago, Paulo, and I was so pissed because where's Barcelona getting this money? Like, I've been a Barca supporter, for a little while, but now I'm getting pissed because they're interfering with my main team.
Yeah.
It's like every single time. But also, Chelsea's getting a lot of rejects, which I don't like. I don't know if you noticed, like a lot of players, I think Cucurella's one of the first ones that are jumping on straight away.
Well, you haven't even signed anyone. Cucurella's, you're kind of like trying to steal him from Man City.
We hijacking.
Chelsea have got Sterling in there.
We got Sterling. There was another one.
Listen,
we signed a goalkeeper earlier this week. Koulibaly as well. We signed a goalkeeper from LA.
You guys are lucky. You guys are lucky that Manchester United's such a fucking walking shit show. You guys will be under a lot of pressure because you guys are fucking up your transfer.
Honestly.
I mean, huge.
I think it's because they're getting finessed.
No, it's
R1 all over the place.
I just wonder if it's that. If players, because that's one thing Thomas Tuchel said when we played Arsenal and we got beaten 4-0, was Thomas Tuchel said no one's sure about their future here. Like, players are looking to leave, and he says that's why there's so much inconsistency, and he said we deserve to lose, and I was like, wow, this guy's upset.
Listen, Thomas Tuchel falls out, he leaves every club scorched earth.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And it takes 18 months.
Yeah.
And he's entering that zone. Thomas Tuchel,
do you think it's hurtful now?
Free by the World Cup. I'm putting it out there. Tuchel is free by the World Cup.
So we got to start that message.
Okay, so let's go. So your team, Turkish Delict. Senzo. Your team is going to be a sensual name. I feel it's going to be sexy.
Citizen Kane FC.
Okay, that's okay. I've seen that. You call that Citizen Kane. I like that. Now, I expect either to see a lot of City players or Harry Kane triple captained every week. I've always had PDP FC. That's been my name for years. I try to be clever this week. I got to support the new bald fraud in town.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
11 Hog. One better than 10 Hog. Okay.
That's highly not the case.
So I'm 11 Hog. I'm going to regret. I mean, if I went earlier and named my team after Solskjaer, what if I changed it after the Revolution?
I named my team after Solskjaer the one year.
Who did it? Someone in our league had a Van de Beek named team. I was like, oh, dude, you've gone early. You've gone early at Van de Beek. So let's get into it. Okay, goalkeepers. Straight up Dean Henderson. Nottingham Forest.
A mate of mine went Dean Henderson as well.
I think it's a good call. I'll tell you why. So Dean Henderson, obviously Manchester United, glorious substitute goalkeeper. Last time he played, had a great season in the Premier League, was when he was at Sheffield United. So Nottingham Forest is going to be in a similar situation, a team that's going to be on the back foot a lot. I mean, Forest do play very progressive football, but he's going to have to save a lot of balls. I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on keepers? We'll find out by your team now. Like Alison, Ederson, I mean, what's the point of having those guys? Because they're going to cost you a lot of money and they don't get a lot of saves. They get the clean sheets, but they don't consistently tick over saves.
I tend to try get a bit of a strong keeper. I used to go for the strongest. I think this time I have actually, but
who is it? Who's your keeper?
My main keeper is Mendy, obviously best keeper in the league.
Big shot.
And then, but he only costs 5 mil.
That's not a bad call.
So it's not. I mean,
that's some good shopping.
5.5. I think isn't Alison 5.5?
Well, Henderson's 4.5. So Mendy's not bad. I mean, Mendy's going to keep clean sheets. Yeah,
that's great. And then
good keeper
for 5 mil as well. I got Schmeichel because he's just consistent.
Is Schmeichel? Didn't Leicester? He's out of contract, isn't he? Well, he's obviously in the game. I'm sure.
I think they're trying to lock him down.
Yeah, they're not going to let him go. Okay.
No, they definitely.
So anyway, Ryan's got me rethinking my goalkeeper. Senzo, who you got in the sticks?
DDG, David De Gea.
Oh, that is bad. That is so bad. It's a dumpster fire.
Jesus,
he makes saves.
Sometimes you get mentioned.
Well, you know what? He's not wrong.
He makes saves.
David De Gea was the only consistent player in the United team last season.
What's he costing now, though?
He must be expensive.
I think like 5. I think he costs the same as I think he costs the same as Mendy.
So who's the most expensive keeper then?
Probably Alison.
Alison at 5.5 and Ederson's 5.5.
And he scores.
And Lloris.
I had Lloris last season.
No, but Lloris was consistent last season.
So they've actually dropped. So
have dropped the price.
Alison, Lloris, Ederson, pointless getting those guys as keepers because they keep clean sheets. Like they hardly get tested.
A bunch of clowns play in front of Lloris.
Okay, maybe it's a different call. Listen, you guys have gone on good goalkeepers. You got me rethinking my strategy because if you can get. Listen, United, we've got to believe United won't be a shit again. We just have got to believe it, right?
Yeah.
And Mendy keeps clean sheets. He's got Koulibaly and Thiago Silva in front of him. Say what you want about Chelsea. That kind of back three of theirs that's going to be hard to breach. Ooh. Okay, I've gone Henderson. I'm going for the saves, but you guys got me rethinking. Let's get into substitute goalkeepers. Do you choose a name or you just go 4 points? Find me a 4-point reserve Fulham keeper.
I used to do that because it's just a quick way to save money. But I actually had money left over this time, so I didn't mind.
Jesus, that's right, hey? It's living on a budget.
I'm maxed out.
Yeah, I'm maxed out.
I'm maxed out. No shade.
I read Hanger sailed that shit.
But the thing is, like, my team is like, my team, you'll hear my team. It's actually Swagger.
Okay, so goalkeepers? Reserve goalkeeper?
Areola.
Okay, but Fulham reserve goalkeeper, there you go. No, he's first.
He's at West Ham now.
You're going West Ham. Okay, right. Listen, I go cheapest goalkeeper in the game.
Really?
4 points, whatever. Forget about it. Okay, defenders. What's your strategy on defenders, right? So you can go the Virgil van Dijk route or Ruben Dias route, right?
Got them both.
That's a big call, though, hey?
Firstly, do you play 4 at the back? Because I never play 4. 3. It's too risky at 4.
Too risky. Teams don't keep clean sheets anymore. No. It's just too hard with the offside rule, with the way they give away penalties, handballs. And teams can't defend in the Premier League.
Do you have specific rules where you won't have more than one defender from the same team?
Yeah, I try to spread it out, yeah.
Because I think that's the safest route. But it also could be really good if you really have to choose. Like, you have to go into that depth of thinking.
I know.
Because, like, if you have two City defenders, and then,
Like, I mean, City can win 7-1, and you're screwed.
Yeah. You see, there's just that one.
So you've gone Van Dijk and Ruben Dias. That is a huge amount of your budget blown on centre back.
Oh, did you go Diaz?
And the third signing, I don't know why I did it. I just because I like him and he's United. Varane, but I think I'm going to swap him though.
Yeah,
I'm going to swap him. I know I'm going to swap him for.
Wait, are these the main defenders?
Yeah.
Who's your substitute?
My substitutes are.
Your substitute.
So here's what I think. We've not seen each other's teams. Here's what I think Senzo does. I think he heavy at the back, heavy up front, lightweight midfield.
Oh, you'll hear my midfield.
You see, he's
excited though.
He's done at FC.
No.
FC.
No. I think.
Right, let's get into your defenders.
Okay, so I've got a nice little spread here. So I've got Ake, number one.
Yeah.
I got Van Dijk.
Okay.
I got Digne.
Okay.
And I got Reece James.
Right.
And then on my reserve is Cash.
Okay. Nice. Austria's Paddy Cash. Is it Paddy Cash or Matt Cash? He's a cash boy.
Matty Cash.
Matty Cash. Pat Cash is a tennis player.
He's only 5 mil.
No, he wasn't bad.
And Reece is 6.
When he was English, he was 6. Now he's Austrian. They dropped him.
Yeah.
Is he Austrian or Poland? He plays for
Polish. He's Polish.
But yeah, when he is English, he has a lot more. So I go weak on defense because I'm like, defense is pointless. It's so stupid. It's so hard to keep clean sheets. So I go Reece James,
Smart,
and Trent. Got to go with those two.
Because those are goal scorers.
They're goal scorers. They're effectively midfielders.
Also, you missing one more guy there, Joao Cancelo.
So I had Joao Cancelo until I found a way to get an extra 5 million for Alexander-Arnold. Pep fucking pisses me off because he rotates so much, right?
Yes.
You don't know what he's going to do. There's no other right back, but he's going to put, you don't know. Where Alexander-Arnold, he's kind of scored in the Community Shield. He's had a good preseason.
Take set pieces.
He's going to start.
Yeah.
He will start every game in that position. Pep's puts Joao Cancelo fake
4-2.
Like whatever. Like he'll do something weird.
Yeah.
I do back Joao Cancelo, but I just think if I can get Alexander-Arnold in, he's more settled.
I was going to say, do we take your fraud watch now? Because now there's no Portuguese influence on this, which is good.
You haven't heard the whole team.
No. So here's what I do, right?
Fraud watch still.
My main team doesn't have any Portuguese players, but I make another team just of Portuguese players and leave them for the season, right?
Unbelievable.
And then not how that does.
It's mediocre. I mean, last season I had Ronaldo, which like completely boosted everything. So,
Yeah.
And then I've got Janssen from Brentford.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. So he kept a lot of clean sheets last season. So, but like I say, I go cheap, and then I got Gay and Tananga. I mean, I just 4 pointers. I don't care.
I've got
I go heavy up front.
Davidson Sanchez.
Davison Sanchez, that's an accident waiting to happen. He's a booking. He's a booking in a human body. Okay, so Senzo, I'm going to come to you, the donut team with the big hole in the middle.
Donut team, eh?
The donut team. Let's go through your midfield. What? Now the thing with midfield is, so Salah's a midfielder in the game, right? Even though he plays forward, so that throws everything. Sterling, essentially, he's going to play forward for Chelsea.
Yeah,
plays in the middle. Now that's interesting because they get forward points. They get midfielder points playing forward, so that bulks you up, but it throws your team off.
Yeah.
And then give me your thoughts on defensive midfielders, because they tend to be cheaper, like a Declan Rice. Does he get a lot of points? Gets the clean sheet points.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get you anything forward. Is it worth the price? Let's hear your donut there, Krispy Kreme FC.
Okay, so I've got... wait for it. I've got Kovacic, Bentancur, Bruno Fernandes, Tielemans, and Kevin De Bruyne.
That's actually... I back that. I back that. Tielemans, great. Who's... did you say...
Bentancur.
Who the last two?
Bruno.
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. Brilliant. But will he get playtime?
Of course he'll play.
You know, with Bruno, it's less about playtime and more about effectiveness.
Yes.
So, I mean, 2 seasons ago, he was killer. Ronaldo did hamper the way he plays, 100%.
But he did come back with 10 and 10.
He did, but he wasn't that surefire last season that he was the year before.
Yeah.
I've held fire on Bruno. Like, I want to get him in, but I've held fire on him because we don't know what the hell's happening at United.
Yeah.
I don't have one United player. I just don't know what's going on. Who do you think is going to be which of those guys stays the whole season for you?
Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne
Has to be.
Without a doubt.
You know what the thing about De Bruyne is? Again, it comes to that Pep thing. Pep will rotate him. So now's a great time to have City players in because you know he's going to play his strongest 11. Once there comes a second, then you just don't know. He starts rotating. Mahrez is the most frustrating.
Yes.
When the guy plays, he does something, but you never know when he's going to play. You take him out, then Bernard Silva. So now's the time to have De Bruyne in. Ryan, give me your midfield there. Let the people give the people what they want.
I'm gonna feel such judgment, but here we go. I got Coutinho. He's under Stevie G. I think he can get some decent points.
I see where you're going with that, yeah.
Then
I think you want my opinion on Coutinho, just not fancy Premier League.
Go ahead.
That he was playing for a move. He was playing for a permanent contract. I think he's going to completely fall off the cliff. Keep himself fit because he wants to go to the World Cup. Stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's going to be fraud watch for Coutinho
No,
for
but
me.
he's been on fraud watch since he left Liverpool because Liverpool are going to build
He didn't
statues
play badly
for
at
that guy.
Barca, though.
No, he didn't. But I'm saying Liverpool is going to build statues for him. And he
How do you know, though?
I know for a fact. He was like the wonder boy at Liverpool when he was there.
God, you speak to a Liverpool supporter about Coutinho.
Man.
Oh, my
Go
God.
speak to James about it.
It's the second coming of fucking like Pele and Garrincha and Zico had a child. Like, it's...
And Ronaldo.
And he just ditched it.
Hey, bro, he wanted to go in Champions League.
No, and I respect that, but I'm saying that like now he's playing for Aston Villa under Stevie G, and it's like he could have been the Salah of Liverpool.
Look, big call with the thing with Coutinho is if Villa are going to do something, he's going to be involved.
100%.
Absolutely.
Villa are going to score a goal. But Coutinho's a guy that you back him, like
Yes.
because he'll do it every 3 games or so. So that's a long game with Coutinho.
So I've got him on. The next one, he has his on and offs, but I got Saint Maxim. I had to. It's just
Swag alert.
the consistency of him playing is my worry because he doesn't play all the time.
Yeah.
But when he is on, he does make some
Hey,
good, decent
over-swagulates,
impact. No, he does.
Hey, listen,
The Gucci headband.
the guy's wearing a Gucci headband, right?
That guy's the type to beat 7 and then just totally freshy the ball.
Fall over.
Yeah, exactly. Or trip on his own laces.
So Newcastle's an interesting one, right?
Yes.
We complained, and listen, you got to take a listen. Wherever you found this, you got to look. Working Title FC 10-episode season preview. We spoke about Newcastle and how they're irritating us with how sensible they've been, right? Where they should be playing like mad FIFA Ultimate Team money right now, okay? But there's some rumblings about Newcastle. Timo Werner kind of bubbling around. So there's a couple of interesting names. So I think the Newcastle that starts the season versus the Newcastle that's squad that'll be there after the transfer window closes, I think we're talking about a very different team. Saint-Maximin is swag though.
Yeah.
But he's like, you don't build your team around Saint-Maximin.
You can't.
No. So I'll rotate him because I've also got Mount, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Chelsea.
I have Mr. Chelsea and Sterling. Yeah, Mr. Chelsea. And then I've got Declan Rice as well.
Guys,
Notice the link.
one thing about Raheem Sterling, you must remember he's not playing in Pep system anymore.
No, I know. I have to really watch because that's the thing I said when he first came to Chelsea was even in Man City, he was a firecracker, but he wasn't consistent.
Of course he was consistent.
No, he wasn't that consistent.
Are you joking?
No, I'm saying he would definitely get on target, but he missed most of the time. He was definitely doing the shots. I'm not saying he was a bad player. I'm saying he was creating opportunity and he was right up there, but his consistency in terms of goal scoring ratio.
130 goals in something like 260
The only other
odd games.
only other guy who scored more goals than him under Pep is that midget from Barcelona. El Puga, the flea.
Yeah. No, I got him on. I have high hopes for him.
So I've also gone on Sterling.
You also went on Sterling.
It's good value.
100%.
Good value. Sterling,
How
10
much is he
million.
again?
10 million.
Not bad.
He's not Kane prices.
No, Sterling's going to play. The thing you're going to get with Sterling is that what Sterling's never had is his own team, right? Okay, so Sterling, 91 goals in 225 games. That's a pretty good record.
It's not bad.
About 1 in 3.5.
Not bad, actually.
Not bad, right. And he didn't start every game. So now Sterling at Liverpool was the kid, right?
Yeah.
Sturridge, Gerrard,
Triple S.
and Suarez. Less so Gerrard, but Sturridge, Suarez. City, he was one of Pep's cost. Pep's the main man there.
A plethora.
Chelsea is his team, right? This whole team is going to be built around him. He's 27 years old.
Is he from London?
It's from London.
Don't you think it's Mason's team?
No, it is Mason's team. I have to agree with Senzo there.
I think it's Sterling's. Maybe like as leadership, but in terms of style, this is Sterling's team. This is Sterling's franchise now. This is big. At 27 years old, he's got like 5-6 years at the absolute top.
Yeah.
Like where the whole...
Four really, really hot, yeah.
And the team is going to be built around him. So I get your point that City, you get a lot of chances to miss a lot of chances.
Yes.
Right? You may not get that many chances, but I kind of look at what Sterling plays like for England without Pep, and you go, okay, the guy still scores goals. The guy still gets involved.
He's
like I said, firecracker comes out of nowhere.
He's a talisman for England. I think Kane.
I think he'll be the same for Chelsea. I think that is relatively muted, you know, for such a high-profile England starter.
Decent price as well.
Exactly, to move between two matches, it's just kind of quiet.
What is it, like 40?
Because we're worried about Ronaldo. You know, everyone's
47.
worried about Ronaldo.
47. I mean, that's very decent.
So I've also gone on Sterling. It's a big shot but he's going to play every game. He's going to get the chance, and the system's going to be built around him. And 100%, everybody will be moved to accommodate him.
That's why there were whispers of Timo Werner
moving, right? So the whole system's going to be built around him. So Ryan, I like your midfield.
Thank you.
Declan Rice is an interesting one because he doesn't get you points going forward, but he's got that England bonus point because he's England's darling. Notice every game he gets
jamming him down our throats, eh?
1 or 2 bonus points. Every game he'll get it. I
noticed with the amount of bids that came in for him and how much like they weren't going to get rid of him. Who did you play for? Is it West Ham?
West Ham, bro.
Yeah, West Ham.
The
Yeah.
thing with Declan Rice is, it's a bigger picture. I think he's more valuable to West Ham than he is to anybody else.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in both of their team, plus what they value him at, he's a really good midfielder. He's not £100 million, euro, whatever midfielder. You know what I mean?
You know English tax.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't apply it because he's not that. He's not a goal scorer. He doesn't create. He's like a really solid what he does. But you kind of tell me Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, I don't see it. The difference, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So he's in a weird position. I mean, he's kind of like ordained to one day end up back at Chelsea, where he came from. But my midfield seems shit now compared to yours. I've got to be your guys, right? I've gone Sterling as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's interesting. Going to give Sterling a good 10 games at least.
Yeah.
See where that lands. Salah, got to do Salah.
Fair. I want to see how Salah does now, though.
Well,
Sadio Mane sacrificed a lot of his game for Salah.
We spoke about that in the season preview, yeah.
He was also injured, though. So Salah did man a lot of the games on his own without Mane at one point. And he didn't do that bad, either.
I think so that sacrifice of Mane. The other thing that you're going to get now is that I don't think that sacrifice, as much as we make the joke about Liverpool selfishness, and that only comes when it gets into the box. And they kind of got this, as I get the ball, I'm going to shoot, right?
Sure.
I think what you do get is you're going to get a lot of mobility around him. So you're going to get whether Darwin Núñez plays, or whether Firmino plays, or whether Jota plays, or whether Fabio Carvalho plays, or Trent plays.
Or Luis.
Or Luis. Everybody's moving around him. And I think that's going to help him a lot. So kind of like what Mane was doing, you're going to get that from 4 or 5 players now. So I think he top scores again.
Do you think there's going to be like, they're going to need a couple games to get the chemistry going with the new players?
It didn't look.
They can just hit
it didn't look like it in the Community Shield. My God,
no.
they looked drilled. Jeez,
They executed that plan, eh?
Oh my God, they looked so drilled.
Also, if you see what Mohamed Salah did during the Community Shield, didn't do anything too fancy. He knew what his role was and he executed it to perfection.
He's like got that elder statesman.
Yeah,
kind of like, I know exactly what I need to do in exactly every moment.
Yes.
Nothing will be a risk with him. Like everything's going to be very measured. Yeah, I think so. Liverpool, like we like to have a joke about them, but my God, they looked drilled as hell.
They looked switched on, eh?
And you know what? I always have that fear of a team who doesn't do well in preseason, kind of has weird results, looks a little bit off. And it's kind of like the pre-World Cup. You'll find teams lose friendlies and then just fly through. And Liverpool just look like they are so ready to go. It's insane.
But I think that's how you want to come in, though.
Yeah. Especially this season. We spoke about in the previews about how quickly the World Cup ends up on top of you. And you kind of want to have a head of steam before that happens. What's also interesting about this season, which when coming to pick your fantasy team, we've not had to worry about like a summer tournament. So everybody has had 4 or 5 weeks with their club. There's no late arrivals, no tournaments, no tournament fatigue. It's quite a different dynamic because normally you got to kind of write off August as teams settle back down. Everyone's stacked. Everyone's fit and ready to go. It's quite wild.
And I don't want to bring it because there's 2 United fans here, but I'm saying I don't think United's ready.
No,
I'm not even talking about fitness. I'm talking about morale.
No, nothing. We're not ready.
Don't worry about us.
Cristiano left halfway through as soon as he came off
most of the other players.
See, but that's wild to me.
So no, that's fake news. Because
is it fake news?
Yes, he left. So they played 2 different squads over 2 days. It's just like fraud alert here, right? Because there's fraud watch is fraud alert.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 games in 2 days. Half the squad played at Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
The other half played Real Vallecano, right?
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Dalot, Bailly, I think. There were about 4 or 5 players left with Ronaldo at halftime. But only Ronaldo gets seen. Okay, Dalot went with him. There were a few players that left at halftime.
How do you sell papers, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Anyway.
Sorry.
Anyway, but yes. Fraud watch, fraud alert. Don't believe everything you see. If it's about Ronaldo, just assume 60% of it is a lie and made up to sell a paper. So Salah, I think, enters elder statesman. I've gone, like I say, I'm really doubting my midfield now. I hate the prick, but Jesse Lingard seems a good shout for me at Nottingham Forest.
Oh, because they're going to build a team around him.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, like, have you seen his TikToks? It's pathetic.
Did you see the way
you sent it, Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just like
we didn't think it was going to happen. If you listen back to the previous episodes, that episode is dated like that night.
Instantly, prick, Jesse Lingard. But we saw it at West Ham when he had his own team. Yeah. Everything worked around him. Might not be a bad shot. At least while the enthusiasm's there, while the sun's out, it's a bit fancy. Then he'll
Before the dust settles.
Yeah, go, what have I done? So I've gone Jesse Lingard. I've taken a punt, but I'm actually thinking he's not going to play that much in retrospect. He had a good run last season as Smith Rowe from Arsenal. He's a bit of a differential, but I don't think he plays often.
I see where you're coming from. I can understand why.
It's one of those, if it works, I look like a genius, but he could very much sit bench for 2 months.
I could see why.
And then I've gone Yves Bissouma at Tottenham. He's going to play every game, and that's kind of like
good.
Play every game. He's going to get the clean sheets.
How much is he?
5 million.
Oh, that's pretty good.
5 million just to chuck in there. You're going to get 2 points, another extra here and there. So he's just a guy who racks up points for you. Nothing spectacular.
So from what I've gathered so far with your team, Paulo, is you are fiery up front.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought so.
But you got to, because you got to keep pace. Now let's get into the business end.
Here we go.
Let's get into the business end. Senzo, let's hear about your star-studded forward line.
Up front, I got Mikel Antonio and Harry Edward Kane.
Fatigues Mikel Antonio. He of fatigue fame.
Kane I called. I'm sure I knew.
His team's named Citizen Kane. It's got to be. So here's my problem with Kane, right? How much are you paying for him? 13.
Yes, it's like 12.5, I think.
He is 11.5.
Okay.
Oh, he's come down.
Dropped off. Kane's got this, like, he wants to make goals, not score goals anymore. And, okay, so you counter that because he gets more for an assist. But it's a lot of money for a guy whose numbers, his goal scoring's dropped off in exchange for Son. What's your thinking on there? Because I think a lot of people are sitting between, do I take Son or Kane? Who do I go for?
I would go Son all day.
I also think you go Son.
I think you go Son all day.
Well,
but Harry Kane's England captain, so it's automatic 2 bonus points every game.
Yeah.
But listen to this though. Previous season, right? 17 goals scored, 11 assists. That's a great return.
The thing with Harry Kane, right, is it's notorious that he starts the season slow.
Yes. That's why I said August. It's a no-go on Kane.
This is a different season.
Southampton at home. Harry Edward Kane.
Listen, I don't think you can ever be wrong with Kane. You
I
can't.
don't think
He's
so.
tried and tested.
You can't. It's now.
I just think it's too expensive.
Do you stick with Kane the whole season? Because that's the only way it counts. You can't be taking him in and out. You got to back him.
No, I'm going to back him.
Yeah, you got to.
Do you think Kane walks around and says, "I'm the most expensive FPL player. Have you not seen me?" Because it's only him and Haaland that are 11.5.
Listen, you often hear of players, they do play fantasy league, and we see players every year when FIFA release their rankings, they kind of go, oh, well, I'm faster than it. They definitely chirp each other about fantasy league. Have to.
Of course.
Have to.
Of course they
Have to. Probably print out their teams on their cocks while they're walking around in the shower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Kane only works if you back him. Whole season.
Yeah.
The whole season. Unless he's injured. That's a big call, though, because Harry Kane does go out with injuries.
Back him.
Got to do it. Okay, Ryan.
World Cup year as well.
I know. Got to get him early. Get the points out of him now because he's coming back from England
Oh.
tired.
Yeah.
Tired.
Boxing Day fixture. Oh.
Tired and sunburnt.
Wait, who'd you say your third one was? So you had Antonio or Kane, and then who's your...
Or he's got a bench grub.
Mitrovic.
Mitrovic. Actually, I have nothing bad to say about Mitrovic.
I
Because
reckon
he got points when they're in the league.
that's what I'm saying. And I think Mitrovic, okay, look, first game, Liverpool at home. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if he grabs a goal. Fulham to lose 5-1, but he'll score. Then he's going to, his next game is against Wolves. Not bad. Brentford, not bad. Arsenal, not bad.
You could bully Arsenal.
And Brighton till the end of August. So, he's a fair weather player.
You could come back with 2-3.
Yeah.
You don't marry Mitrovic.
No.
You
He's
don't.
a fling. He's a fling.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good run of fixtures. 3 there that he could score. Not a bad call. Ryan, let's hear about your flying forwards.
I got Haaland as captain.
Big shout. Big shout.
I have to try. I was like, you know what? There's so much hype.
So Pep says, false line.
And then, no, this is why I think that my team is so good. So I got Haaland up front. Then I got Jesus at Arsenal.
Okay.
We saw what he was doing in the preseason. I have very high hopes. And then I also have Mitrovic.
Wait, so you give Sterling flack for the amount of chances that he misses. Jesus is also from the same cloth, eh?
It's so difficult because City make so many chances.
It's ridiculous.
It's kind of like it's okay if you miss. So
another one's coming. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's so difficult to judge a guy on how he played for City because they just make so. It's that old thing going back years. They said Andy Cole needed 3 chances to score a goal, but it's because he got 10 chances a game.
Yeah,
they made so many chances. If they didn't make that many chances, he'd score a goal. You know what I mean? It's just like you just get so many. You're always involved, and I never look at XG or anything like that and the quality of the chances. Because is it a chance when it's like a surefire tap in, or is it a chance when you're taking a shot from the edge of the box? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I do get it, but also go City. Just the way they play is just bombardment and on you and on you and on you. Where if you're playing a bit
coming
more,
at you,
exactly,
tide after tide after tide after tide.
So Ryan, you're after my own heart, and here's the thing with Haaland. Why I've gone on him is I think you just have to keep pace.
Yes,
I think a lot of people are just going to plonk him in, and what if he hits the ground running? And listen to his fixtures. Okay, that Man City start off with West Ham, then listen to this fixture list. I mean, this is insane here, right? So they start with West Ham. They got Bournemouth at home next.
9-0.
Right. After that, they got Newcastle away.
5-0.
Right. Then after that, they've got Crystal Palace at home.
7-1.
And then to end off August alone, they've got, it's a little bit trickier. Forest at home. I mean,
we could just hit the ground running right there. That's 3 points.
Do you know what I mean? So Pep, signs Haaland because he's got to play Haaland. And those are 5 games where you go, you know what, boys, we're going to figure this guy out. I reckon you just look at Senzo. He's thinking. Yeah, he's reconsidering.
Even in terms of assists, you know what I mean? Because assists, the thing is, he's young and he's quick. And he'll adapt quickly to whatever. He comes from Dortmund. I mean, that's one of the greatest teams to come from.
What? Bridesmaid.
So listen, I think look, you've got to have Haaland in just to keep pace.
Yes.
because people are going to back Haaland, and
Yeah.
if Haaland hits the ground running,
Oh.
boy,
Aren't we all in trouble?
boy.
I'm actually being what Senzo was last season for Ronaldo. Remember when?
Yeah.
When we started that whole thing,
But
Ronaldo
did he
was
not
the
deliver
first.
though?
No, he did. I'm not denying. I'm saying that's how I'm going about Haaland. Like and it's a lot of money. Like
48 mil.
no, I'm saying he's 11.5. Haaland's 11.5. Him and Kane are the most expensive on FPL.
Listen, I think it's unwarranted that he's so expensive, but listen, you just got to have him for pace. To keep pace. I've also got Gabriel Jesus because, like you, I agree. I also believe the one thing Arsenal were missing was a striker. They played some great football last season. They were really, a lot of chances. They just needed him. And
Point of reference, yeah.
And you see preseason. Listen, you can never say fully with preseason, but Arsenal looks settled. Like Liverpool, they know they got their team. That's who they're going to play. That's why I think Smith Rowe is a bad call. And then I've also got
Chelsea game.
no, they just look potent. And then I've round off my team with the Wayne Rooney of Leeds United, Gellard, cheeky little youngster, cheap. He'll stay on my bench. If Leeds are going to do something, he's probably going to score. He's going to be the main man because Bamford can't stay fit.
Yeah.
So that rounds up my team. That rounds up our fantasy league teams. Senzo, what's your hopes for your season?
I just want to butt in quick. I noticed no one had Cristiano Ronaldo. Are we finally getting to this point where no one is backing Ronaldo even on his own?
You can't.
That's crazy.
You can't justify
it's a gamble.
a 10.5 million spend on
No, I agree.
a guy you don't know what's going on.
But I'm just saying, for the first time ever, I'm hearing a team without Ronaldo, like one of the greatest.
Hey, listen, we're all
in the league.
We're all gonna eat our words because he got a couple of hat tricks last year. No one had him. What dicks we were.
He made the PFA team.
Yeah. So, but listen, if he starts the season, he settles down, get him in.
Yeah.
Not at the price though. You can't risk it.
Yeah, you can't justify.
You
can't
just and it's not that he's bad. It's that United they're just not anything.
Yeah.
They're just not anything. So, we both recognize your dig there. We both know what you're trying to do.
This guy supports United.
We both know what you're trying to do. We sidestepped it. So listen, we hope we've given you some food for thought. Laugh at us. I mean, our team probably are. I'm really doubting my midfield. Senzo, is there, after listening to us, is there one player that you go, these guys had a good point. What should I do?
I think Haaland. I think Haaland because he has to come back with 20.
That's it. Ryan?
I don't know.
Have we given you food for thought?
I can't think of anyone. I think I grabbed everyone who I think is going to be hot in the beginning. Now it's just about seeing who actually follows through. So I don't think I'm going to be changing anyone. I think I'm quite happy with my team. I don't know about you guys. I'm just interested to see, I want to give my team about 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3-4 weeks.
4 weeks.
I've got to get a Porra in there.
Ruben Neves.
I don't have any Portuguese.
And now you can take Paulo's advice to the bank because there's no Portuguese influence there. So this has officially become a professional podcast.
Hey, we're neutral. We're neutral. Hey, listen, we haven't set up our own league yet. We will keep a look on our socials. We'll give you a league code if we decide to do it. We don't know what we're going to do. This is Working Title FC, where you found this podcast. There are 10 others. Season preview. We'll be back in and out through the rest of the season. So make sure you subscribe and you always get one. Follow us on social at The Real PTP.
At Hawksley.
At Senzo Says 7.
At Senzo Says 7. Grown-ass man has Ronaldo as his WhatsApp pic.
And wallpaper.
Working Title FC.